So the first thing you need to understand is that the body or our bodies cannot understand the difference between imagination and reality. What does this mean? Basically, the way our bodies work is they react to the environment. If you're walking down a path in a forest and a grizzly bear jumps out at you, what's going to happen? You're going to start booking it in the opposite direction. All of the blood flow is going to start getting redirected into your muscles so you can run faster. You're going to start breathing faster so you get more oxygen, and your entire body will adapt to help you avoid getting eaten by the bear. Now imagine you're in the same position, in the same situation, except a man wearing a costume, a bear costume, jumps out at you. Your body will still have the same reaction because it doesn't know that it's not a real bear, because your brain believes that the bear is real. Basically, what we imagine, our bodies will react to. That's why if right now you close your eyes and you imagine yourself in a really scary situation, like in a horror movie, and you really vividly imagine yourself being in like an abandoned house and a serial killer is chasing you, your heart will probably start pumping a bit quicker. Maybe your hands will start sweating. Your body will start making the reaction or adapting to the environment that you are imagining. Now we can use this to our advantage by literally kind of calibrating our bodies into this state where they will help us be more social by just imagining ourselves being more social. Now, if you want to learn way more on the topic of communication skills and you want to get really the juiciest information and learn absolutely everything that I know, you can check out my course by clicking on the first link in the description. That's where I teach you absolutely everything that I've learned in the past years, 3.5 years that I've been learning on this topic. Basically, there have been courses done, or there have been studies done on this exact topic where they would take different groups of people and have one group train some sort of skill and the other group imagine to train it. One particular study was a study where they took three groups of people. One which threw the ball at a basketball hoop for 20 minutes a day every single day for 3 weeks. Another group which did nothing, and a third group which imagined themselves as vividly as possible throwing the ball at the hoop. And after 3 weeks or so, I think it was, what they found was that group number one, who practiced every day for 20 minutes, improved by a pretty significant percent. I think it was like 30%, 25, 30. Group which didn't do anything had no improvement, but the group which only imagined themselves throwing the ball at hoop had only a slightly smaller improvement than the group which actually went and practiced. I think it was something like the group that practiced it was like 25%, the group that imagined it was like 23% improvement. What this means is that by just imagining ourselves doing things and practicing different abilities or different habits, we can get almost the same benefits as if we are actually doing it practically. So how we can turn this and turn this into our advantage when it comes to communication skills is we can start imagining ourselves being social, being in social situations, speaking to girls, meeting people, going to parties, and by just imagining those situations vividly, we are literally, it's as if we are actually putting ourselves in those situations, getting those experiences, and getting that practice for those situations. Like, this is genuinely the craziest thing. You can literally practice becoming like a, the heart of the party at parties, or practice becoming really good at speaking to girls, or practice getting really social from the comfort of your room by just imagining yourself doing it. This is something, of course, as well, that I go way deeper into in my course that you can check out by clicking on the first link in the description. Now, how you can do this practically, to put it really into like super practical steps, is you you put like a timer for 5 minutes, maybe 10, maybe 30 minutes. I think on average around 10 to 30 minutes a day should be enough. You sit down straight up on your bed or your chair, wherever you're comfortable. You make yourself as comfortable as possible, you relax, and just until the timer goes off, you close your eyes and you just imagine yourself going and acting socially the way that you always wanted yourself to act, the way that you would like yourself to act. For example, if you right now go out and you try speaking to girls, you're probably going to be kind of awkward. You're not going to know what to say. You're probably not going to get their Instagram, for example. But if you imagine it, how would you imagine yourself doing it? You would imagine yourself probably walking up to a group of girls, being really confident, knowing exactly what to say, saying these few specific things, asking for their Instagram or their number, getting their number, and then you literally imagine exactly, you have a vision in your head of how you would like to act in that situation. Of course, when the situation arises, you don't act that way because, again, you haven't had enough practice. So what you do is every single day, for let's say 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes, you just close your eyes and you imagine yourself acting out in the exact way that you would love to act out, that you would want yourself to act out. And by doing that, it's like you're getting reps like in the gym. You're practicing doing this exact kind of thing, kind of action. And once the situation does arrive, where you're in town and in front of you are girls or a girl that you want to take her Instagram, now you've gotten that practicing before, and without even thinking, automatically, just instinctively, you will act in the way that you wanted to act from the start, in the way that you imagine yourself acting. If you want to go to a party and you want to be a party animal, you want to be the center, of the party, center of attention, you imagine yourself going into the party. You imagine yourself probably walking up to different groups of people, introducing yourself, dancing with the girls, buying drinks to different people, dancing around everyone, being really carefree, really confident. You imagine everyone reciprocating, everyone being like, hey, that guy's cool, whatever. And you imagine exactly how you would like the party to play out, and exactly what you would say, what you would wear, how you would act. And you do that over and over and over every single day until eventually, when you do end up in that situation, automatically, without even thinking, your body will just act on its own. Like instinctively, you will just act as that person that you always wanted to become. Because what happens is, by imagining yourself doing these things enough times, you increase, or you change, and you evolve your self-image, the way that you see yourself, your self-image, into this more charismatic, cool, confident person. And when your self-image is up there, everything else, your actions, your body, the way that you act, ends up adapting to that self-image. This is something that I speak about in other videos that you can find on my channel. Now, the reason that I have this channel, the reason I make these videos, and the reason that this whole channel exists is because in my earlier days of life, when, I was like in middle school, when I was maybe 10, 11, 12, when I should have spent time going out and meeting people and training my communication skills in order to now, when I'm 19, have these skills be natural to me and be able to, talk to girls and talk to guys and not have any anxiety. That time when I should have been socializing has been kind of stolen away from me by these social media companies who went and who designed these apps and video games and everything in such an addictive way. Where I remember back when I was in middle school, I would go to school, spend all my time at school on my phone, come home, and then spend all my time playing video games, because it was way easier than actually going out and socializing and being social and going out into the real world. It's way easier to just sit down and play some video games and forget about all the stresses of school and life for a few hours. Those few hours ended up being a good few years, and that's why now I'm having to learn all of these basic things when I'm almost 20 years old, which I should have learned when I was like 10. That's why I make these videos. That's why I made this entire channel, so that you can learn these things even quicker than I did and can improve without having to spend 3.5 years reading books and trying out things and watching YouTube videos and getting coaching and whatnot. So if you appreciate these videos and you think they're helpful, click on the subscribe button, check out this video, and do the work. And buy my course.